D-Watt. Awesome. You got the setup going on over there. I like it. Are you doing like hat changes for this show versus your show on that top shelf?
I put up all my sports hats for my show and all racing hats for your show.
I hadn't changed anything, but I ain't wearing my Sport Talk with D-Watt hat. So
I do like
at least
that.
I got that. Welcome to the Caution Flag Contemplations podcast with Casper, D-Watt, and JP. Join us every Monday night at 8 on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform as we break down all the racing from this week. I fixed that stupid video, and it still says Monday's at. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to anybody that watched this on YouTube. I really do apologize. I tried to fix it, and apparently wasn't good enough. Welcome into this, the fourth episode of the 2026 edition of the Caution Flag Contemplations podcast. I got with me the GOATs, D-Watt and JP, out here just absolutely getting it done, fellers. How's y'all's Monday been? I know y'all had a long ride yesterday. How was it?
Oh, it was pretty good. Got home about 10:45 or so from Atlanta and back to work this morning. But it was all worth it. I thought it was a very good race.
That's good. I'm glad to hear you made it home at 10:45. I do want to know what y'all did.
Yeah, I had the longest drive out of everybody last night, and it was a real struggle there, but we made it back.
Well,
it was about 9 o'clock when we got into the hotel.
Yeah, I bet it was tough. I don't know, man. So I was driving back last night and the show came on in the car. So I actually listened to last week's show and I was like, listen to me and JP be like, yeah, we're not going. D-Watt was like, yeah, I'm super excited. Take my hot wife. And then sure enough, we all ended up getting down there. But thanks, Ford. We appreciate it. Y'all go buy you a Ford this week. That's what my suggestion is. If you like Caution Flag Contemplations, buy Ford in Chattanooga at the #1 volume dealer in Chattanooga. That's my suggestion. But yeah, it was a good time. Good weekend. I didn't get to watch much on Saturday, unfortunately, Trucks and O'Reilly, so I hope y'all did. I know D-Watt said he got to tune in. I was out doing the family thing, but I've watched some highlights and clips. I got some opinions, and I'm excited to hear y'all's about that. Without further ado, I guess we'll just go ahead and get on in this thing. I do have a couple things we're going to talk about. One, fantasy. D-Watt did not get his lineup set because there's no cell service at the racetrack. He tried. I completely forgot to mention our fantasy on here last week. For those of you that didn't know, we did do a fantasy league, and there's about 5 people in it because I dropped the ball. So I apologize for that. But you can still join if you want to. Well, it still has no points because he's 0 for 2. I've set 1 lineup so far. So yeah, just see if you can make like a Christopher Bell like run from 36th in points and see what you can do. But yeah, shout out to Zeke for getting the dub this week. JP, please beat him next week because every time I'm going to see him on Monday, I guess that's going to be the first thing I'm going to hear is that he won. So
yeah,
I was looking pretty good there for a few minutes, and then I was not. But it is what it is. Other fan mail. This is the opening question of the episode. Fan mail from Bernard in Chattanooga, Tennessee. JP, we're going to send it to you first. You got the hat on, so we're going to send it to you first here.
Yep.
Who gets their first win, Connor Zilich in the 88 or your boy, Carson Hocevar in the 77?
That's a tough question because I really wish I had this other hat that I got over the weekend that's sitting in the back of my vehicle right now. I would right now be making a hat change to Connor Zilich because I could easily see him win next week at COTA.
I don't know. That's Paul. What do you think, D-Watt?
That's pretty fair. But Carson, his day is going to come. It's going to come pretty soon. He's super aggressive, and we saw that at the end of the race last night. But I feel like, Connor, I picked him last year to not win at all this year. So I'm going to kind of stick with my gut there and stick with my thought from last year and say that it'll go to the Wild Man is going to get a win this year or first.
I like it. I was really hoping that JP was going to pull out the Connor Zilich shirt that he bought yesterday for this question, but he didn't.
Well,
it's probably
too cold. I got that sitting over here.
It's okay. It's probably too cold, but I thought it would have been great if he's wearing the 77 hat and 88 shirt to have to answer that. But yeah, I don't know. I think I have to go with JP. I think it's probably going to be Hocevar. He could. Zilich, he could win this weekend, and he was up there too yesterday as well. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. D-Watt's usually right when me and JP agree. So like the Lucas last week, okay, D-Watt got the win. Me and JP were like, no, they're all going to the World Outlaws at the Dust Bowl down in South Florida. and we were wrong. So he got that one right too. So just go ahead and mark that down somewhere. If anybody's a betting man, bet 77 to win before the 88 if you can do that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to watching them two race for a long time, long time. But all right, news of the week, big time news today. Did you guys see the Keelan Harvick to a long-term contract with Toyota driver development?
I
D-Wop,
don't
what you think?
understand.
You're up
I
second.
like it. Don't understand some of it. Now, he's been with the other people the last little bit with, was it Chevy, I guess it's been, and Ford a little bit maybe?
Yeah, and Ford here recently, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. So I think it's good future. Maybe one day it might be a Joe Gibbs racing situation for him. I think the future is bright for Toyota, and it's a good future to have.
JP?
Yeah, I definitely think they got a good driver there to put in their pipeline and see what he can do down the road. And I got one question for you here, Casper. I saw it on X there earlier. You think Keelan Harvick gets a JGR ride before Corey Heim does in the Cup Series?
No. I mean, Corey Haim's going to 2311. I don't know if you noticed, like, he's not even in the options for JGR. I think that it was a bit of a shock when I saw this morning or afternoon. Kind of like what JP was saying when he was talking over D-Watt. But you know, I was surprised to see that Harvick would go Toyota. He's never drove one himself, never been around it. I think it's a development choice for Keelan's next steps is what I think it is. I think that he's probably looking at it as, okay, Toyota's done pretty good with their young drivers. They have a well-established plan. Like Keelan's what, like 13 now? Something like that?
Somewhere around there.
I think he's about 13. So, Keelan's done that. He did the karting thing in Europe and all that. He's back. So we're doing some late models. I would expect that the next thing that you're going to see with him signing Toyota is I would expect to see some heavy dirt midgets probably in here, being with Toyota. Learn some more car control. That's what they like to do. We'll see what happens. They have a really good system for that at Millbridge and all that kind of stuff. So maybe we'll see him in the Chili Bowl. I don't know, but I would expect to see him driving some of that, learn that version of car control. I think Kevin's done a good job with his program as far as like getting him in everything. So I think that's the next step. It was a shock after seeing him drive a little bit of HendrickCars.com and
Yeah, for sure.
things like that. And at the end of the day, our Chevy and Ford boys, I don't know if y'all noticed, but they just kind of grab these guys too sometimes when they get up to the top, sign them back over, i.e. Kyle Larson. Who else is on that list? Joey Logano. I mean, he was a Toyota guy that really kind of never did much in a Toyota, but did better in Fords. So I don't know. It's interesting, but we'll see what happens there. And, long term could change anytime, right? And but I don't know. 2311s looked really good, and Toyotas look good so far this year in the Cup Series. So we'll see what happens, but obviously, they get good at Xfinity stuff. I mean, O'Reilly stuff. So we'll see what happens there. Other news, more Joe Gibbs Racing. Chris Gabehart getting his nuts sued off by Joe Gibbs Racing, boys. $8 million saying that he stole privileged information from Spire. D-Watt, you're up first. Do you think it happened or not?
I saw his comments. I think it was online somewhere. He said he did not do anything wrong. He's going to handle this the right way, and he's not in the wrong. I don't think he did anything wrong. I think Joe Gibbs is how they ended their terms together. Maybe wasn't the way they wanted to end things. And he's a very smart, crew chief and very, very good person when it comes to all that kind of stuff, I'm sure. And he's got a lot in his head of how to get his cars set up and whatnot. And he took it to Spire, I guess. That's where his new job is. And Joe Gibbs is going to put up a little bit of fight on how they ended things. And just my take on how I like it or don't like it is I don't love the look of NASCAR right back to the courts as we were just in with some other people. So I don't like it. And this one could get dirty, but we'll just have to see.
JP?
I hadn't seen all the real fine details about what was taken and what wasn't. But the one thing that I have taken away from this is after I get a few more years of being an automotive technician under my belt, I think I'm going to go get an engineering degree and move to Charlotte and try to start working on NASCARs after seeing how much crew chiefs get paid. $1 million a year salary plus 25. That's pretty good there. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like definitely after listening to Alan Gustafson yesterday on the 9 radio, not know how to call if we're pitting or not, you could probably do pretty good at it. But I don't know. I think this is kind of where we're headed to with the whole sport in general. If we didn't have kit cars, probably wouldn't have this problem, right? It wouldn't be relevant from car to car, but since they're coming from the same manufacturer, it was. And like, obviously, he can take what he's learned. And I think you're probably going to see a lot more non competes, and you're probably going to see where guys are going to have to go sit out for a couple years before they can switch teams, start getting written into contracts as far as crew chiefs, engineers, upper management, that kind of thing. So I am curious to see. I do think that this will kind of shape that part of the industry a little bit more legally and stuff like that with where they're at. But I don't know. Hopefully, this one also gets settled out of court. I don't know. They're going to have some good evidence to win that lawsuit, too, at the end of the day, I think. And they say they have it, but he says they don't have it. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, to wrap up the news real quick, Kyle Busch got his 1,300th Cup start, which is the most Cup starts all time ever. That's pretty impressive. I did not realize that yesterday when we were at the race. I never heard him mention that while we were down there in the pre-race or anything. We were inside for, an hour? Didn't hear anything. That's awesome for him. And, that's a big number. 1,300 is a lot of races. And he's been around a long time. He started real young and he's real old. And these guys that were young, like they could go and do this for a long time. And I don't know if anybody will touch it. Do you guys think anybody would touch 1,300? A quick yes or no so we can roll on.
I'd say no.
All right, JP.
I say yes.
Anybody in mind?
Bill Larson.
Larson? I don't know. Maybe Zilich, possibly, or somebody like that. But we'll see what happens. I'm kind of with D-Watt. I'm kind of thinking not. Like, what's the point after that much? But anyways, that's about it for news. There haven't been a whole lot. Other than that, the only other news thing is there's been some talk about our boy Jimmy Owens. I don't know if y'all seen that on Facebook. I need some sponsors. If anybody's got some money, go spend it down there with Jimmy so we get him out here on the road or whatever's going on with him and Kohler. I hate to see that. Love to see him race. It's been a weird speed weeks, but that's a nice transition here into Speed Weeks. Talk a little bit about some dirt racing that went on this week. Florida Outlaws has now wrapped up their Speed Weeks section after the trip to Hendry County, where they had less cars than Lucas did this weekend. I think they were around like right under 30 for an average between their two nights. Did y'all get to watch any of this? Yay, nay?
I watched a little bit at the beginning. It was very odd, not odd track, but it was just very dusty and very yeah, I guess it would be dusty. It was just it had a cushion up top there, and it was just different than what I've ever seen.
I thought the track was a little strange, and I thought it was really dusty, and I find that annoying to try to watch when I'm there or here. And like I thought it was very telling. Booby gets the win there Friday night. Sorry, I have to say Booby. I can't help it. And he got the win Friday night, and when he was sitting there in victory lane, you could see the dust on the car. And I'm just like, that just kind of goes to show how dusty it really is out there. Unfortunately, Friday night, Cody Overton blows up, and that's his third or fourth motor in Speed Weeks. He was trying to run the tour. I guess he's off the tour. I'm not really sure. He only missed one night. So I don't know what the deal is with that, what he's doing, but he ended up switching over to the K machine and running at Alltech. And I guess Saturday, something like that. He ended up with them. So curious to see what happens there. Hate that for him. Saturday night down there at Hendry County Speedway. The win goes to Nicholas Hoffman. I missed by one night. D-Watt also missed by one night on the picks. Unfortunately, sucks to suck, don't it?
Yeah.
And I actually won the picks too. So sorry, JP. I just realized that. But yeah, I don't know. Good to see Hoffman up there running good. That's his second, third win so far. So he's had a really good Speed Weeks, and he's come out with a 10-point lead on Bobby Pierce. And I feel like that's about as good as he could ask for. I'd like to see him have a kind of a breakout year here, and I'm looking forward to them. Their next race will be up here in our part of the world, boys. So I'm assuming we'll all be at Smoky Mountain Saturday. Probably.
What day is that?
March 14th, I believe, is the one.
Should be there, hopefully.
I'll be there. I should be.
Yeah, March 14th, that Saturday. The Friday they're at Bulls Gap. I'm going to try to go to both if I can swing it. And I think I should be able to. I should be back in town from some trips I have to go on between now and then. But looking forward to that, and I'm sure those guys are looking forward to a little break. They've had a busy month. Some of them probably didn't really go home much between Volusia 1 point, 2 points. I know that I feel like I saw a lot of haulers headed up 75 on my way down to Atlanta there. So I'm sure some of them are ready for a little time at home and regroup and reload and see what they got. Like I said, their points. I mean, Hoffman's in the lead over by 10. It's tight. T-Mac's back like 33. And then, Herb, Turbo, Drake Troutman, they're all kind of right there in that same thing. Hated to see the whole deal with Cody Overton. I was hoping maybe he's going to have a chance to hang with the big boys this year out on the road. But, dude, it's tough, man. It's tough to hang with them out there. So we'll see what happens. If they blow up, I mean, I don't know who's, JP, you got any insight on why maybe they're blowing them all?
Oh,
Do they not know how to jet a car?
shit happens. Well, here's the thing. In the racing world, that warranty is from the second it gets pulled out of the engine shop. So the second it is out of the building that the engine was built in, it could blow up at any second. So
Oh, I mean, I'm well aware. I understand. I mean, I hate it. You see somebody blow that many, like you got to wonder if they're doing something wrong. And I don't know. Obviously, I'm not accusing. I'm just curious. Hopefully, if that's the case, they can get it figured out, and we'll see what happens there. So that moves into the Lucas Oil Opener down here at Alltech Speedway. 3 nights. I know we all got to watch this. Thursday night. Do you want to cover that for us, Daniel, at all?
Shepherd gets the win. I didn't get to watch much of that night, but track looked good. Shepherd's kind of on a little bit of a roll, Casper. He's been hot as of late, and I'd be curious, can he keep up with some of the other big names in that series? That's something I want to keep an eye on. So we got that, and then Moran on Friday night. I watched this one, and I wish my pick would have been the next night, but he leads all 50 laps caution free, I believe, and they were getting it on that night, and he's got kind of a good looking car, I think, this year. Moran's kind of switched his car up just a little bit. I don't love it, but it's got some odd stripes to it there with the blue and the white, but it was kind of cool to see them run all those laps green. That was something different. Sometimes you'll see these guys spin out and whatnot, but it's Saturday, man. Hudson he gets beat by a Whitener on lap with 30 to go to get the win. So that was Hudson's another driver that I said last week or so that maybe he's just going to run mid-pack, and he's already proven that he's going to run up front with the guys. So I'm good with Hudson. He's young, and he's one of those guys you're going to watch, and hopefully he'll be able to get going strong here, this week. So that'll be something I'd want to watch for Hudson if he can get up front and get some laps led this week for Lucas Oil. Those 3 nights of racing, they were pretty good, pretty clean, and as a fan, I can't wait to see this week.
Yeah, I'm with you. So first of all, on the Hudson situation, JP, you were wrong. He did indeed carry all over everything he needed out of that Rumley 6 machine right on up there. Looking good, top 3 points, Lucas, there after the first weekends. He's doing just fine, in case you were curious, JP. I just want to remind you that you said, no, he's going to be trash.
He'll be trash the rest of the year. Speedway doesn't count.
You're wrong. I do really like the Alltech racetrack. I think it's a good track. I like it, that turn 2, boys. Whew. They were blowing them out over there, qualifying and everything. And I don't really understand. I'd like to go down there and watch a race at the track so you could kind of get a little bit more of that. That's a track that I would kind of like to add to the list of to go to. They have some really big crate races down there too, which, I'm always a big fan of big crate race. So we'll see what happens there. Lucas, points coming out of Alltech. Brandon Overton, after the snoozer of a year last year, is your current points leader. Only up 5 on Hudson O'Neal. And, obviously we're just getting started. They're also doing drop points. I think they're taking their best 5 finishes between there and 5 out of 9 or 9 out of 12, something like that. They get to drop some between there and Ocala this week, and then Golden Isle the week after that. So we'll see what happens there, but interesting, good start for Brandon. I hope to see him up there, without Davenport on that tour. He was going to be the one that was going to jump into the top 4 that wasn't in the top 4, right? I know they're not doing all that, but we'll see what happens there. Oh no, Lucas coming up this week, Tuesday through Saturday at the Ocala Speedway. That's a good track. Strange shape, but by George, I do love to watch it, and looking forward to watching that starting tomorrow night. And great. One of the other thing too, early in the week at Alltech, that show that you didn't get to watch much of there Thursday night, bro, they were done at 8:30. I don't understand. They had them absolutely rolling, so that was good as far as I'm concerned. Coming up in the dirt world this week, we have Lucas at Ocala, like I just said, and then Spring Nationals are going to be at Swainsboro and Sonoa Friday and Saturday. So we'll see who shows up where. I don't know. It's kind of strange that they're going to be running, to me, a little bit against Lucas and the World Outlaw guys. I'm assuming they're all going to the house. So I guess those could be some pretty regional fields. So we'll see what happens there. And then if, maybe somebody's going to drop off the tour and go down there and try to get him something. So we'll see what happens there. Moving on, NASCAR. NASCAR rolls into Atlanta Motor Speedway. Just kidding. It's now Echopark Speedway. I don't know that anybody can call it that, but we're working on it. Yeah. We had a debate yesterday in the parking lot about this. And, at Lowe's, they had the Lowe's Motor Speedway in Charlotte. So I guess if Echopark can stick with it for long enough, maybe we'll remember it. But does anybody know what Echopark is?
I think it's
an automotive group, I think. Or it's automotive something.
It's definitely automotive group. I just don't know what they, is it used cars? I mean, I was kind of...
rental cars. I thought it's rental cars, but don't quote me on that. I think they rent cars out. Is that what it is for?
I really don't know, and that's my point, is, like, I know what Lowe's is, so
Yeah.
vehicle buying center, so it must be
Oh.
like CarMax. I don't know. There's not
Maybe.
any up here in Knoxville, Tennessee, for anybody curious, but, anyways, we're gonna keep supporting them, they're supporting us. D-Watt likes the green on the racetrack.
I
I'm
did like the green.
not a fan of the green around the top of the Atlanta Motor Speedway, but it is what it is. It is a great racetrack, so that leads us into Truck Series time race. Boys, this race gets shortened due to time, due to rain. They lost
Yeah.
10 laps. Does anybody have any hot takes on the time race? Oh, okay, let's see. I knew somebody would. What you got for us, D-Watt?
Well, my thing is these guys all have fans, and it's all cost money and sponsors and all this good stuff. Is don't like they got lights, and I get it. I get why they're doing it because of the TV window for the Xfinity or for the O'Reillys. I get it, but let these guys run the race. And then I watched this pre-race show for the O'Reillys, and they're just yapping for probably 30 minutes when they could have finished the truck race. And they just kept having a lot of drama in this whole countdown clocks, which is fine. So everybody's on the same page, but I feel like the TV was really buying into it. You know, Corey Haim kind of said that he didn't like it at all, in his post-race talk there. So I don't like it as a fan. Like, I was just confused. Like, they got lights, pushed back the other TV talk, and let's have these guys finish the race in full.
All right. JP, you got any opinions on the time situation? I do have some, but I was going to hold.
I kind of see, like, I get that the TV pays bukus amounts of money for their time spot and everything. I get that. They have a commitment with that contract, whatever. But at the same time, like, you don't go to the Super Bowl and play 3/4 of football. You play the full game. And even though, you don't play the whole season and go to 3/4, whatever, you don't get to do the race. Like, if you're already racing and the weather's good, whatever, finish the damn race, because it's supposed to be the Freight 208. It was not the Freight 208. It was the Freight, 190 something maybe?
Probably
I mean,
about 182 or something like that. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. All right, well, that's good. So I have the differing opinion of the group here. I'm okay with it because at the end of the day, this is a support class, right? You go down here. I'm not trying to watch the front runners have a 45-minute feature. It is what it is. It's not great. And to me, if you don't like it, the only way to actually fix this is to get rid of the doubleheader. And I think the Atlanta doubleheader is something that, like, we've been to a few times now. I know me and D-Watt went, like, back when we were in high school once or twice, and, like, it's a pretty good deal. You get 2 races. It's a fun day. We got to watch Kyle Busch win on the old track. We're getting pelted with. We were sitting down there low for the Xfinity race at the time. He was driving that 18 NASCAR. Do you remember that? And all the rocks flying off the track, hitting us in the face, stuff like that. So I don't know, man. Like, if you want to do it, you've got to probably move the truck race to Friday night. It's probably what you have to do. And I'm kind of a fan of that, anyways. It's really weird to me to have just qualifying night Friday and not have anything. And I don't know if they had Bandoleros or something out there on the quarter mile legend cars. They might have Friday night after the qualifying, but it's just, I don't know. It's when they started doing this back in the day, Fox used to have the Xfinity series, right, for the first half of the year. So this wasn't an issue. So it's a thing. I really like the CW's TV deal, so I don't want to take any time away from them. I think they have the best broadcast team potentially out of any network right now, and I hate to say that out loud, but it is what
I'd
it
agree
is.
with you on that.
I said
100%.
what I said. If we could put the Cup on CW, I would be a fan. And they've pushed everybody up a little bit. I think Fox has been a lot better this year with their graphics packages and stuff like that. So, I like that. And I don't know. Time, it doesn't bother me. It's 10 laps. Now, the one thing I do wish they would announce this before the race started, and I don't know that they really did. If you run this race like Saturday night, what happens if they try to run this thing Sunday? Like, I know I was texting y'all about before I even know I was going to go. I made a joke to D-Watt about, y'all have fun down there at the 14 hours to freeze your butt off or whatever at Atlanta if they ran all 3 races on Sunday or 2. And, like, the thing is, if they would have pushed it to Sunday, they would have ended up running after the Cup race, which you guys saw what time it ended at with these 3:30 starts time. Like, that's just not an option. But it's also not an option to get the people that pay the big money to not go in the infield because you have a race going on that you weren't supposed to have going on. So I'm okay with it. Just make that, announce before the race and make it every weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe you can do that in these series. You can do that in trucks and maybe do that in O'Reilly too. I think this is something they should try in the ARCA series. Probably is the first place to kind of put this in. It's okay. This is our TV window time, and backwards calculate from here. And hey, it might fix some of this fuel strategy crap too. I know nobody wants to hear that either. I would even be okay with time stages. How about that? Let's just race quarters and see what happens. Okay, you heard it here first. Okay, I'm okay with it. I think we should try it more, embrace it. embrace the chaos. Okay, that's my
Well, you
opinion.
want NASCAR to become be your favorite racing series, IMSA, huh? Is that what you want?
Not the no, not the Cup Series. We're talking again, this is support classes. At the end of the day, these are support classes for the main show. If they were doing this in the Cup race, I would never be okay with that, 100%. Unless it's raining, because I don't know if y'all know this, but they go so slow in the rain, the races take too long. We learned that at Bowman Gray, in case y'all forgot. But yeah, I don't know. I really am okay with it in the truck race, and thought it was interesting. But anyways, that leads us to a more important part of the truck race here. Kyle Busch gets the win, being pushed by the Hurricane, baby. How did you feel about that,
It
JP?
was great. It was wonderful. I loved it. I liked Hocevar's interview when he said, "Yeah, we were overheating, and I knew I didn't have a chance, so I was gonna make sure the company won," and he sure did.
I give Hocevar an A for being the company man for Spire, just for the record. He does a great job with that. Do you what? Do you
Oh, and then
think he was
he
trying to
pulled
pay it
down
forward? But go ahead,
and then
finish.
did you notice the part, where he went down and drove up to Kyle Busch doing the donuts and gave him a fist bump, and then in his interview also said doing that just for the content?
Yeah, we can talk about that in a minute too. That's coming up. Don't worry. That's celebration. We're not to the celebration yet. But D what did you think that Husvar was just hoping for a little return the favor from the old KFB on Sunday, or what?
He definitely was playing nice. I feel like he plays nicer in the trucks and Xfinity and whatnot, and then he doesn't play nice at all in the Cup because he wants to win. But I would say I was surprised, but he was doing his job and being a company man, and he was pushing, and he definitely could have jacked some things up if he would have jumped out of line and whatnot. And he really stuck with what he was wanting to do, and it was a really good ending to that race. That race got me up off the couch. It got my heart rate up a little bit, and I
Yeah.
was super pumped. And it takes a lot for that, like for a truck race, it isn't always, exciting and whatnot. But that ending was good. It was, I thought I was going to go to some different drivers there, and Kyle Busch got the lead, kept the lead, and it held him off. And it was pretty impressive. Like last 5 laps or so, he got the lead, and they couldn't pass him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This track's exciting. We're gonna talk about that here in a minute too. But I don't know that you've had a bad finish here yet. So
Yeah.
I thought it was a really good race, and I'm excited to see Kyle getting done what he's supposed to get done yet again in the truck series. All right, I guess we'll move on. Truck celebration? So on the burnout thing, the second, I mean, I get the shake and bake, but like, what do we do in Carson?
Yeah,
Like,
get off the track.
get off the track, bro. Just get
Gotta
off the
get that
track.
picture for the
Mike,
gram, son.
Well, but it wasn't that good of a picture though, because Kyle wasn't feeling it. I don't know if you noticed how much Kyle wasn't feeling it,
No,
but
it
Kyle wasn't
wasn't.
feeling it because Carson wanted to go bumper to bumper like this,
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if you dominate a race 1-2, maybe, but at the end of the day, Hosfar didn't lead a lap, so he really wasn't that good. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Good to see Kyle Busch get the win. Like to see Carson Hosfar, not act like an idiot after the race. Don't worry,
Hey,
O'Reilly. When we get to the end of this, we're going to talk some more about post-race celebrations.
oh yeah. No, I got to say one last thing about the truck race.
Yeah.
The best part of the whole truck race was when Kyle Busch got out of the car. He looks really good in a Hendrick Cars uniform. We need to make that happen. We need to kick old Bowman out. He can't do a damn thing. Let's get him back at Hendrick, baby.
Rick, Jeff, Alex, Ally, anybody that's listening, JP does not want to see Alex Bowman back at Hendrick Motorsports in 2027, just for the record. And I don't even think it's a contract year for him. I'm pretty sure Allies, locked in with their money for a long time, but maybe it'll work out. And, it could in the right circumstance. Maybe he can go run their 17 car or something like that. Maybe he can run a little Bush car for him, per se. But I don't know. I don't think Alex Bowman's going anywhere anytime soon. We can look into that and maybe talk about that more next week. We lost him. The hotel cut him off. All right, it's just me and you. He'll come back.
Okay.
O'Reilly series race. So I thought this was a pretty good race. I didn't get to watch all of it. Did you? Would you like to go?
I mean, yeah, it was a pretty competitive race. It was kind of some back and forth, and I thought it was good drafting. Wow, there he is. So I liked how it was drafting and it kept the fans into it. I'll just kind of get to the end and we kind of jump back around if we need to. Austin Hill kind of was the favorite, I guess some would say.
Yeah.
And he was up front at some points, but then he kind of dropped back, and that was my pick to win. And he finally got back to the front, and I was really feeling good about it. And he was able to kind of control the lanes, and he had the lead there late. And Ross Chastain, in my opinion, this is just my thought. It was a late move by Ross. I get it. He may have got the push at the right time and had all the speed built up and momentum. And he jumped down to the bottom, and I'm not mad about it or whatever. It was cool to see that finish, and that save by Hill was quite impressive. That was a really good save. Well, I'd call it a save. It looked like a save to me.
Yeah.
He slid it and didn't wreck.
Yeah.
Kind of kept going. But I'm sure y'all's got some takes on that. Was it too late of a block, or was it just hard racing at the end?
Yeah, I mean, straight up, I'll tell you right now that was a late block, and he got turned. And
exactly.
I think Ross did what Ross is supposed to do in that situation. Ross said, "No," stood on business and said, "Nope, I'm not taking it." And I watched some guys take it last week at Daytona, so I hope that the rest of the Xfinity field watched and learned. Austin is really good, but he does throw some late, and if you keep your foot in it, it turns out he will indeed go round. So
he did show everybody in the O'Reilly series how to beat him. So
yeah.
Hopefully they can do that next time.
That too. I mean, did you feel that was a Austin Hill issue or a Ross Chastain issue, Daniel?
I think it was more of a Hill issue for sure.
Yeah. What I mean, D-Watt was asking the question. I'm curious. What was your opinion, though? Whose side are you on? D-Watt?
Oh,
yeah. Who do you think did it? You're good.
I'm probably going to say it was probably Austin Hill's fault. It was just a late block, and you just gotta. If someone's there, you gotta be there. I'd like to see those guys get through 3 and 4 and get to the finish line. That's what I was really wanting to see.
Yeah, I agree. I hate it, but hey, it is what it is. Poor Austin Hill, baby. Poor guy. I just hate it for him.
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. He can cry some more.
He ends up not getting the win. We end up with Sheldon Creed finally getting a win in the O'Reilly's Xfinity Series, whatever we're going to call it, over Parker Retzlaff, Nick Sanchez, Corey Day, and Jesse Love. And if you would have told me that the top 4 was going to be Sheldon Creed, Parker Retzlaff, Nick Sanchez, and Corey Day at Atlanta,
you're on crack.
I would have told somebody they were on cocaine for sure. That is crazy. If you go look through there, that's crazy that's where we're at now. So shout out to all those top 4 guys for getting good runs. And Jesse finishing there. I do think it seemed like the RCR cars might not have had the same domination they've had. You had a good amount of guys lead laps. The Chevys were all good. Like I talked about with Sheldon Creed and Sam Mayer, both, man. I feel like that upgrade probably is helping them a lot going from Ford to Chevy this year. And, I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I like the finish. And Austin didn't seem to be too mad. I don't know if y'all noticed, but he was in victory lane. So, I think he got it. I don't think he was too pissed off about it. But anyways, Sheldon Creed gets the win, does this awesome burnout and all this stuff. But right before he does the burnout, old teammate pulls up on the door, 41 car. But hey, big dog. Super Sam finished. What'd he finish like?
I don't even know.
He got him a 7th, did pretty good. Led 23 laps, had a beautiful, clean, audible Chevrolet number 41 Camaro Chevrolet thing, whatever it is. And, he pulls up, give him a little door tap, takes a left through the grass, rips the tire front end off the car, goes 15 feet in the air, about takes out a NASCAR official. What did y'all think about that situation?
What an idiot. I mean, really? I haven't listened to DBC yet, but I got to assume that won the shit show, right? Like, that's got to be it.
It's going to be up there for sure. Natalie Decker's antics off the track are going to be up there as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was laughing so hard. So here's the thing. So I came in the house from the game night we were at the end, and that was they were playing the replay of that on the TV after the race is over. And I was so confused because they showed Creed in victory lane and then they're showing Mayer. And I'm like, what? And sure enough, they went back and showed it, and he did indeed just drive through it. Now, so this is a lesson to all you young gentlemen out there. Keelan Harvick, number 13 years old. Don't go driving through the grass to celebrate with your teammate after this thing's over, okay? Pull back around, put it in reverse, Terry, whatever you got to do. But when it rains in particular, do not drive through the grass. It rained. Did we forget that it rained for 2 days? I mean, I don't know if y'all seen the parking lot out there.
It made us forget it rained. I didn't like it, Casper. It was just do all that door donut slamming, whatever you want to call it, do 3 and 4, and then just go down pit road, get in line, get out of the car, do your interview. Just don't get in the grass. Don't do that.
So I guess my question is, do you think he was influenced at all by the Hurricane Carson Hocevar going out there and beating doors with Kyle Busch and trying to do a half burnout?
Sure.
You think I think maybe that had something to do with it. I think he was like, oh, we're doing this today. All right, this is cool. And I don't know. That's an all-time low light / highlight for Sam Mayer. I hope that doesn't end his career, but I mean, can we get a T-shirt of that car with the nose ripped off of it at an angle like this? Because that was awesome. I mean, the other thing too is like, what if it? I don't, you used to watch on the cameras. They used to like loosen up the belts a little bit, going down the back stretch and like, man, if he loosened that baby up, he hit 12 G's going through the grass down there, got thrown in the air. So hope he's all right, but I'm sure that was an embarrassing moment, but I hope they could all laugh it off at the shop, and hopefully he'll go down there and buy them some pizza or something tonight since they're putting the nose back on that race car. But, you got to take care of that baby. I'm sure Mark Martin was screaming at the TV for sure, But yeah, good race. Only other thing I want to point out in the old O'Reilly series, great finish for the local Knoxvillian. Old Chad Fincham ended up with a 17th place finish in the 55 Joey Gates machine. Hey, listen, second best driver Knoxville's ever had, right behind Trevor Bain. We'll take a top 20. Got thrown in that car, it looked like on Wednesday. So good to see a Tennessee boy. There ain't that many Tennessee boys out here racing anymore. There ain't even that many dirt guys. It's kind of sad. So anytime we see Tennessee boys do good, I like to see that. So congratulations to him on that. And didn't put a scratch on it at a plate race. So good job there. But all right, that leads us to the main show. Sunday's Auto Trader 400 at Echopark Speedway. You want to talk about a mouthful of a name. My gosh. Well, that's the other reason I was confused about how it's Auto Trader 400 at Echopark, but I guess like Auto Trader is the website that sells the Echopark vehicles, maybe. Yeah, so that's probably how the partnership works on that. But yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess what'd y'all think about the race overall? First stage was pretty clean. Then it got a little wacky, and then it got super wacky. I mean, I don't know where to go. Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna go with with some of this. It was packed. I thought crowd wise, it was very windy and chilly, but just crowd wise, it was great to see. Great to see the fans back. I felt like, last year we were there and it was crowded, but I thought this year was very good crowd wise. Track looked to be good. All this talk about how this track might not last that long with some of this pack racing and whatnot. With the it may have helped with the cold weather may have helped with some of that, but I was kind of glad I didn't hear much of the saving of the fuel much throughout the race. If there was, I just didn't hear it on the radio. So first stage was clear, and like you said, in the second stage is just kind of when it starts to get better. You got the Ty Gibbs situation there. I'm gonna get y'all's take on Ty Gibbs. Barry, but you just kind of get loose and just here we go again with Ty Gibbs. He runs good sometimes, and then it just looks bad sometimes.
Yeah. So first of all, I'll just say this because you don't know this because we had to sit apart, but I did indeed get up and go to the bathroom right when that happened. And I knew there hadn't been a caution, and I was thinking to myself, as soon as I stand up, they're gonna wreck. And I hit the bottom step to make the left hand turn back to the pisser, and I hear put it out, and I'm like, dang it. And everybody's going wild. So I kind of missed this wreck, but I mean, if Ty Gibbs was involved, I just assume it was his fault. I mean, that's my honest take.
I mean, at the end of the day, he's only there because his name's on the building. I mean, just at this point, it's whatever.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a pretty good hit there for him. But so that was kind of where it kind of started there with some of that kind of stuff. Kyle Busch got turned around by Noah. I saw a replay here this evening about that. I couldn't really tell exactly what happened there, but Kyle didn't care for getting run over. He said, kids these days can't just jam it in there. He had all kind of quotes that you can take different ways if you want to. So that was, Kyle Busch. Some of these guys are having issues these first 2 weeks. I'd be curious on y'all's end. What race coming up do you think that these drivers are going to start to get nervous on points?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I put that into the notes too. I think if you're doing bad after next week is probably when you have to start definitely being a little worried. I don't know that you got to be panicked yet, but you got to start thinking about getting a little worried next week for sure. But I don't know. I guess as far as the Kyle situation there, like at the end of the day, I mean, he slid him and he lifted and he got run over. I mean, I don't know. Hey, it was just kind of a bad situation. And yeah, he probably, Gregson probably could have cut him a break, but I don't know if y'all watch, but dude, it's so aggressive out there every single time down the straightaway on that racetrack. That's what I feel like people are probably sitting behind me going, what is wrong with this guy? 'Cause I'm just shaking my head like every lap, just like, what are we doing? Like, you get these guys making these runs down the front stretch and then just dive 3 wide at the last second. And like, I'm listening to Trey in Chase's ear and he's like, you're good. Inside. I'm like, oh my God. And, I watched Hocevar. He was pretty bad about it early in the race.
So was SVG before he got wrecked. He was getting pretty rowdy on it.
Keselowski was getting pretty bad about it. Priest was up there doing it. Bubba was doing it. Even Byron and Larson early in the race were going after each other. I felt like they could have worked together a little bit better, but they were going after each other right there in the front stretch. And then, that turn 3 was so sketchy, man. Like with the wind, you're like, watch them go in, just push up. And then you see guys hitting doors and stuff back there. And I'm like, my gosh, just hold the bottom. And then you get on the radio and you start clicking around. They're like, sorry, the wind got me. And you're like, yeah. And it was that windy. I mean, for those of y'all that weren't there, I'm pretty sure my hands froze. So I couldn't get feeling back till I got about past Marietta. I could finally feel my right hand again. So I don't know. I thought the Kyle Busch thing was just Kyle was pissed. And things aren't going well for Kyle over there at RCR. Let's just be honest about it. It's not. And there's a lot of frustration that came out. And then him and Noah, whole Vegas thing, like they've kind of got along. And, I think it's just the frustration that Kyle's going to have. I'm afraid for the rest of the year, probably. Had a couple good chances and kind of blew them both so far.
And then the 5 car. So I was going to get your take on that, JP. What's up there with y'all? Kind of wish I was at, some points of the race pretty good there. So I saw some more highlights this evening. He just took a left there, but he just, I don't know. I'll let you tell me what happened to the 5 car.
That's kind of how it was there, though. Off of 3 and 4, they'd get up in the top from getting tied in the win, and guys on the bottom would just get a massive run, and then they'd go to turn, and he didn't know he was there. I actually had his radio on at that point when it happened. Potter never said inside because he wasn't inside until he turned down. And Larson came on the radio and said, yeah, I didn't know we were 3 wide. And the spotter's like, yeah, you weren't until you started turning. I mean, that's just kind of how it was that whole race, I feel like.
Yeah. I feel like from the last 2 races there, that's the thing about that track. And we're going to get into this discussion when we get through here. But like, that is the thing about this track. It's a super speedway, but where you take a mile out of it, it is so tight, so fast. You don't have any time, the runs, they're bigger. And maybe they're not bigger, but you can't see them coming as far. It's like they're finally getting, like, even on the backstretch, I don't know if you noticed, but they would get a run built up, and they can't quite get to the bumper till they really need to be slowing down the turn. Like, you can't push in the turn, right? So it's kind of weird how that worked out. So hate that. But yeah, JP, he wasn't that fired up about the Larson thing because he was full 77 yesterday, baby. He wasn't. I was up there. He wasn't super fired up about that one.
Okay. So the pit crew, let's talk about a little bit of the pit crew screw ups here for the 9 car. He overshot his pit stall at least 1 point there in time. What happened there, Casper?
Well, he got stuck on the air hose. Not the best situation. He was fine till all that. The real issues came when that pit stopped at, I guess, pretty much not everybody. Half the field pitted at with like 30 to go, and he did not.
Some took tires.
And
oh yeah,
and they're like having this debate about should we come, should we not come, should we come, should we not come, and Chase is like, yeah, I want the tires, and Alan's like, I don't know, and then basically I think Alan was going to come, but Trey never called that pit. They didn't turn. First of all, they didn't turn the lights on to turn pit road on until way late. It wasn't as late that Trey said 500 yards. It was not 500 yards. They were like in turn 2, and they turned the open light on, which being on the backstretch just throws stuff off. And Trey never called it. The spotter, Trey Poole, never called it. And then they missed it, and Alan was kind of like, well, shit. And, they just kind of dropped the ball. That was a team issue, and it's one of those things with Atlanta, and Alan's even like, if I'm being honest, I was being slow because I forget about this pit road thing with it being on the backstretch, and it's kind of weird, and maybe they can figure out something to do. Maybe under yellow they don't have to go back there, but I don't know. I mean, it's fine. They made some mistakes, and Chase made the one getting in the box. Like I said, slid through it, got on the air hose. And then, Alan kind of dropped it there, and then they have more debates later on if they should come, like right before the green, white checker or whatever, and they got tires, and Alan was pretty much like, if you don't get back to where you are, I'm going to beat your ass. He didn't say that, but he was thinking it. And Chase was like, no, I want the tires. So they just, I don't know. To me, Chase had a really good car. I don't know how much y'all were watching him or listening, but like he was not really pushing that hard. And in the second stage, he wasn't. He was pretty aggressive. I felt like in the first stage. Then he was kind of just riding for a while, and I think they were waiting, and he just never really got set up in a place to go. So it was unfortunate. But yeah, Alan. I mean, people have said stuff about him through the years, myself included. He's not a bad crew chief, though. I mean, I don't really want him to go. It was frustrating to have to hear the like, yeah, it's kind of my fault. We should have pitted, but it is what it is.
So then we had this. Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, a little spin out. Looked like Joey I don't know if he just checked up or Hamlin misjudged or ran in the back of him. and then they all get to spin right there in front of us. That was pretty cool to see those cars kind of wiping out right there in front of the fans. But I thought at that point Reddick was going to be down and out, and he kind of had a jacked up right front. It looked like had some
No
damage
fender.
to it. No
Yeah.
fender. Okay, so
Drag reduction actually is what it was. DRS, drag reduction system.
so then he was able to go down pit road, get his business taken care of, and then he got back to the front. And I'll have to kind of watch more on how he got back to the front. But he had a good enough car, and then when it came time to win it, he was at the front.
Yeah, he had tires, and I mean they were on pit road every lap for 5 or 10 laps getting that thing worked on. It was quick. Real quick, we missed the whole 77 spinning out the 22 situation. Are you team D-Water, are you team 22 or team 77? Whose fault was that?
Gosh, I think the 77 just kind of took him out, just spun him out there, got him out of here.
He said he wasn't. He said it wasn't intentional. I heard him say it live.
That's good. That's good. At least he said that. And he was. That was the first car he took. He took for a spin there in the race there. So I didn't like it really as a fan.
I think Joey Logano came down. I think he left the line and he came down. And I went back and watched it again today, and I still think Joey Logano came down. And I know, like, you watch his in-car, they played his in-car replay there at the racetrack, and he didn't, like, make any moves, but he was they were just kind of running a different line. And, yeah, Carson probably could have let him in, but I don't know if y'all know this or not. Carson's not letting anybody in anywhere, so don't be planning on it. Dear NASCAR drivers, just don't. But and then after that, it said 22 finally got cleaned out. Thankfully, everybody cheered. I don't know if you noticed the amount of cheers when 22 was done, but they were quite a few. So that was good to see. So then we get to this restart, first green white checker attempt. Let's kind of speed her up here a little bit. And we got front row's Bubba and the 20, right?
Yeah.
Bubba and Bell. And I'm like, here comes Bell out of nowhere, about to win this race again, like he did last year. And Carson, what was Carson saying on the radio coming up to that restart there, JP?
Shake.
Well, I probably. There you go.
Yeah, he did not shake and bake. I don't know if y'all noticed, but he turned dead left and went straight for the hole. And ended up putting the 20 in the wall. I guess I think the teardown had a really good take on this one. This is very much like Brad Keselowski, Jeff Gordon at Texas in 2014, and I had that same thought. I was like, the hole was there, but it really wasn't. So it's like, I was pissed that night. I didn't see Christopher throwing punches though. So I want to remind everybody, oh man, Jeff Gordon could get out there and get after it. Okay. I just want to remind everybody. But yeah, I don't know. That's what you expect from Carson Hocevar, and anybody that wasn't. I mean, you can't leave him a hole. Like, you got to stay down there on the door. Like, he really need to be closer to Bubba. Like, you leave him a hole, he's going to go. And everybody's got to learn that. And if they don't like it, move on. I mean, that's how Carson feels about it. And that's how I feel about watching him, But it was unfortunate. So when we get to the second restart, somehow they did. I thought that they didn't really wreck other than Bell. I really thought that was going to take out the whole field there for a second.
Yeah.
On the front wrecks, it's tough. I think, thankfully, they weren't really up to speed. I heard Trey call it pretty quick on Chase's radio. And I was curious, did they even get through a time, like a time loop? I think they got through one time loop. Hocevar ended up second. And we did that restart. And, how'd you feel about the restart choose there, JP?
You really think he should have picked behind?
Yeah.
I think he would have had a better chance at winning.
I agree.
I don't get that you want to be on the front row, but man, at that track with how fast it is and how little time, I mean, it's just, I think you got to be behind him and try to knock him the hell out of him.
Yeah, and then not having a push too. No Chevy push behind you at all. And unfortunately, that's what we're getting to. And I kind of want D-Watt's opinion on this. So it's into this race, really. The push in the back of the 45 from Chase Briscoe is really what won the race here. And it's like, do you like that these races are essentially coming down? I mean, we had the same situation last week where Herbst was like, I can't push Chase, so I'm just going to hit the brake and turn right and then take out 3 or 4 more guys. And like Briscoe's like, well, I got a Toyota and a Chevy, so what am I going to push? And he's going to go to the Toyota, and that's just how it's decided. Like, do you like that? Do you not like that? Do you think it adds an extra level to the whole racing game that we don't need or that we do need? What you think about it?
I don't like it, honestly. It's not going to change, and these guys are going to push their teammates of any kind of, whether it's they're going to push each other, and they're going to leave the other guys out to dry. I feel like as long as this doesn't change the sport in any kind of way and whatnot, but I don't think it will. But it's just a layer that we're going to have to kind of deal with, and these drivers are going to be kind of watching who's in front of him and they'll push certain guys, and that's just probably how it's going to be from now on.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I was thinking about, it'd be nice if we could get to adding another manufacturer or 2 in there, mix it up a little bit more instead of it being just 3. Because a lot of times, the 3, you get in those situations where, there's 2 of 1 and that's who's gonna win. So, I don't know. Overall, really good race. Reddick gets the win, 2 for 2 on the year, man. Absolutely smoking it. 23-11. Bubba gets another good finish. Bubba finished, so he's now the second in points to Tyler Reddick, who's your points leader after winning 2 races, absolutely laying it to him, basically. I guess the question is this 23-11 hype going to fade quickly as we head to the road course next week and on the real racetracks, or is it going to stay
I got a
how it
prediction
is?
for you. I don't think
All right.
so. Tyler Reddick got his first win at Coda. I think he goes 3 for 3.
All right. That's interesting.
3 for 3. I think it'll fade a little bit, but you'll see those guys run top 10 this year, I think. So I think they'll kind of stick around with it, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I guess the one interesting note to me here, as I was going through the points, which we're going to talk about here briefly, the highest running JGR Toyota is Chase Briscoe in 15th. So 2311's carrying the banner right now for Toyota. And, when you start to think about it, like, that's interesting. And, obviously we haven't got to real racetracks yet, but, I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens there, and I'd like to see Michael Jordan up there. A couple other notables in the points. Chase Elliott still just sitting there. Mr. Consistency sitting here, 81 points in third. Hadn't done anything spectacular, but here he is, just solid as solid can be, what he's trying to do. And then there in fourth, Carson Hurricane Hocevar, baby. Sitting there fourth in points, man. That's crazy to think. You feel like he's had a rough little time here. He's gotten a couple of dings and dents and been all over the place, but here he is. Zane Smith also in fifth in points. Suarez seventh. Like, there's some guys up here, like, if they can hold on and manage, they could do okay. Really curious to see what happens there. I think we'll get into more to the points next week after we get a road course in and kind of let it even back out, get away from just having these plate races. But definitely interesting to look at. All right, I guess we need to wrap it up quickly, so I'm going to ask 2 questions. One, is this the best racetrack on circuit at this point as far as just being entertaining lap after lap after lap? Yay or nay, D-Watt, what's your opinion?
I say yes. I mean, each lap's exciting, great track. I love it. Keep it close together like they are. Yes.
I agree. JP?
I agree, but here's the thing. We don't need to turn the rest of the mile halves into super speedways.
I agree with that. And I'm sure you're referring to my next question in the notes here, which is what should they do with Texas? And what they should not do with Texas is making Atlanta 2.0. Leave Atlanta. But I am all about trying something at Texas. I had an idea for Texas that I thought I would float. What if we just make it flat? Like, what if we just make this thing like Pocono flat and see what happens? We never really had a flat 1.5 mile oval that I could think of. You think
I don't know how that would work.
I mean, we keep talking about wanting off throttle time because it makes better racing. They won't go as fast.
There'd be a lot of it.
I'm not talking about like flat, 100%, but like Richmond flat, like just try it. I don't know. That's something I'd be curious to see what happens. And maybe the guys can figure out how to run the top and get a little bit of a run down the hill or something. I don't know. Maybe add like a little progressive, maybe make it, 5-7 degrees at the bottom, 15 at the top. I don't know, something like that. But that'd be cool. I do like the fact that they did this thing with Atlanta. I know that we were kind of real anti. I think that time that we were talking about with that I was talking about earlier with the rocks flying up was supposed to be the last race. They were supposed to pave that weekend, and then all the drivers were raising hell. So they went another 2 or 3 years, and I think it's worked out really good. And lap for lap, I think it's as good as it gets, and I would rather watch a race there than Talladega or Daytona at this point because they're not trying to save fuel, and the runs are intense. So that's pretty much all I got on that. So overall, I thought it was a really good race weekend. Just for the record, I checked the Gluck poll, and baby, this thing's running 93%.
Oh, wow.
With the Tyler Reddick win, so I felt like that. I mean, that seems like a pretty good number for this race, if you ask me. So. Other than that, up next week, Cup and O'Reilly series will be at Coda, and the trucks will be at St. Pete doing the doubleheader with the IndyCar series, which is cool as far as I'm concerned to see that. So looking forward to watching a little bit of that. You got Dario Franchitti going to get back in a NASCAR. He did a little time there. in the, I guess it was a nationwide series, I think, whenever he was running that a little bit. So curious to see what happens there. Picks as far as this week goes. I put JP wins week 3 with 77, finishing 5th, but I was actually incorrect. Bobby Pierce actually got the win for Casper as he finished 2nd at Hendry County on Saturday. Got it done for me. I really appreciate that. It is what it is. So that actually means that Casper is now ahead 2-1 to nothing. What? You're really going to have to get on the board, son. I mean, we're going to let you pick first here, so you better pick some good layups. I mean, if you don't pick SVG when we get the cup, you're stupid.
I mean, shit.
But we're gonna save cup for last this time. So we're gonna go flex first this week, and then we'll do truck, and then we'll do cup. So D-Watt, you're up with your flex.
Okay, give me Jonathan Davenport to get the win Saturday night at Ocala.
Oh man, he ought to have a fresh bullet in that baby ready to go. I hope you're right. I'm gonna take for my flex. Give me.
No, you won. You're going last.
I forgot I did win. Sorry, that's why I have me going after him. I am going last. You're correct.
Give me SVG in the Xfinity race.
Is he running the Xfinity race?
Yes, in the 9 car.
SVG O'Reilly. All right, got it.
Yeah.
Give me. Is Connor Silich running that race too?
Yes, he is.
I think he is, but give me Connor Silich in the. He's in the 1
car.
Yeah, I think he's in the 1 car. Give me Zilich in the O'Reilly race because I was going to go Davenport, but D-Watt stole it, and I think he'll probably get the win down there. I know that Dirty Dollar Ranch got to be hungry after sitting around watching everybody race for last month. So I expect to see him get at least 1 this week, if not 2. All right, moving on. Truck Series. D-Watt, who you got?
Oh, man, I really got no clue, but give me Lane Riggs to see what he can do.
I like it. JP?
Man, I'm about to go for the moonshot here. Give me Butterbean, Brandon Queen. At a road course, baby.
All right. I guess we can do that. That's not. It's a terrible idea, but I like
it. If that hits, that's worth like 20 points.
I'm trying to figure out who our Truck Series regulars are at this point, to be honest with you. I still haven't quite got this whole thing dialed in for the year. Sorry, I'm going to have to cut this. Give me Ruggiero in the 17. He's been good everywhere they've been, so I'll take him. I feel like that's a terrible pick, but I'm going to go with it anyways. D-Watt, who you got for the cup race?
Man, give it to me. Give me SVG to get the win.
That's a solid pick. I like it.
I hope so. I don't know what to expect, but I hope so.
Give it to me, baby.
I'm going to do it. Give me the 9 car. Chase Elliott to get the win. Road Race Chase is back this year. The short course is good for him. I feel like, they've been solid to start the year, as good as anybody out there. So expect them to be up there. I'm really curious. One thing we don't have a lot of time. Obviously, we're kind of out of time, actually. But one thing I want to watch this week in this race at COTA is, what does the strategy look like with the points for these stages? A lot of guys, have been going for wins and throwing away these points at these things and short pitting. And, do you think it's going to be the same or do you think it's going to be different? Like, are more guys going to go for these points early in this race?
I think so. I think it's time to go get those points. You got to get the points early and often. So I say go get the points.
I agree. I think qualifying matters a lot here for this deal. And I don't know what the rain looks like and all that, but if it gets rained out, that's gonna be more power to Reddick. But I mean, I think qualifying's a big time deal here because if you're not in the top 10, not gonna get points, you're gonna have to flip it. But if you're up there, I think you're gonna have to stay, which I think is gonna make for a lot of comers and goers throughout the race, which is what we want to see, right? So, I expect this to be a super exciting race. The short course was really good last year at COTA, so y'all be sure to tune in, watch it, and we'll see what happens. 1 hot minute. I guess we'll go here. D-Watt, you're up first, then JP, then me, then we're out of here.
All right. My 1 hot minute was had a good time at the race, and I got to find my next one to go to. Might be Charlotte. That's my next thought. Charlotte in the fall. That might be my next race, maybe.
It's not the Roval. You can't go. JP?
Man,
that's all I got.
One thing we didn't quite talk about, but I got to give a massive shout out to the 77 team yesterday. Having absolutely zero quit with the amount of there's the issues they had. Then they had an issue with the window. They just kept pushing and gave it hell the whole time and never quit. And they ended up with a chance to win, but that's all you can do.
All right. My 1 hot minute is going to be, I heard that there's a rumor that Formula One's going to be trash this year. And I just want to let everybody know that Formula One is trash. And apparently Max Verstappen's thinking about leaving. So hopefully we're going to see him over here in NASCAR next year. He don't want nothing to do with that electronic bull crap Formula One junk they got going on. Best part is JP's not here, not going to hear this. So he's going to have to listen to it on the podcast. Anyways, I did see right before we started that he is going to be here next week. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. All right. Other than that, y'all have a great week. Watch a race. Hammer down. Thank y'all for listening to the Caution Flag Contemplations podcast. Our theme music is Hard as Steel by Alex Productions. Thank you all for listening. Hammer down. Find a good race to watch. We'll see you next time.